together and played baseball right there, school number 6. And there was a bunch of us that get together and played. And we started out school 6, Newman's playground, Putnam Oval, and played against one another. Then we decided that let's challenge ourselves to playing some organized ball, going up to try out for Little League at Eastside Park. About 10, 11 years old. So might have been about 15 or 20 of us, and we were walking up Broadway. We always got stopped by the police because they saw black kids going up these ups. Where you going? You want to try for Little League baseball. So the tryouts were on a Saturday. They must have had about, I'm going to say, at least 9, 10 teams. They had a couple of fields, and they had permits like we start from 9 o'clock to 11, 11 to 1, 1 to 3, and 3 to 5. So we thought, the group was that maybe all of us could get on a team together. That wasn't happening. They was not going to have all these blacks on one team. And I remember my mother saying to me, she said, because I had a younger brother, she said to me, don't you all get separated. If you make the team, your brother's with you. Don't you play one team, your brother's with you. You two are together. So there was this team called Food Fair, and they was interested in me playing for them, and they wanted me to play. And I said, well, what about my brother? He said, well, we want you. I said, well, what about my brother? So I said, well, you can't play them to forget about. Oh, well, never mind, that's okay. Then your brother, he can play. So we played with Food Fair. And then as I left Little League, we went to a junior development, and then I started playing high school. As a matter of fact, when I was a sophomore, Johnny was a senior, so we played on the same Eastside baseball team. But I found out what was interesting. I always played against older people. I was the young one, but I felt that it gave me an advantage to challenge myself to play against older talent. As I continued to play, I played semi-pro ball with Paterson Aztecs. That time I was, I think, about 16 or 17. These were men, but they were giving us, some of the young guys, hot dogs and hamburgers. Well, they were playing for big money, but we didn't know any better. But we just loved the game. That's why we played. Then in 1966, I was out of school. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. I also ran track at Paterson Eastside. I had a wonderful track coach by the name of Charles Deal, who was one of the founding brothers of Lambda Upsilon. And he was kind of partial, he liked me. He always told me, he said, Lathan, he said, you're a good track man. And he says, he wanted to offer me a scholarship to Jonathan C. Smith. Unfortunately, emotionally and mentally, I was not ready for college life. I was kind of young, and he wasn't going to beg me, but he told me that you had good talent to go to Jonathan C. Smith. I didn't go. So when I finished high school, I took a position of working, and before you know, the draft was taking everybody. Next thing I knew, I found myself being drafted in the service. Now, they had a baseball team in the service, was called the Army team, and I made the Army team, and I thought, well, this would be great. I'll play ball. Before you knew it, President Johnson came to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He said, I'm shutting down the base. All of you guys were going to be deployed over to Southeast Asia. So that was like maybe about a month or two. So the next time I was overseas. So when I came back home, February 20th, 1968, I can remember like it was yesterday, I asked my best friend, I said, well, where's all the baseball at? He said, Ron, ain't no more baseball. Everybody's playing fast pitch softball. He said, you believe it or not, that's a competitive sport. I said, no, baseball? No, they ain't playing no baseball. Softball. So we organized our team, and our first year, I believe it was in 1968, played for the Hutchins Mets. They was on the corner of Carroll and Harrison Street. The only problem with that, it was a good team, but they have different levels. They got B-ball, this is the lower level, which I started playing. Then it's A-ball, then there's majors. So we played B-ball with Hutchins Mets. We won everything, but it was not a challenge. So now we're looking to play a more challenging level. So now we go to A level. Connie Bragg sponsored our team, and we had a very good team. We won a lot, but still weren't satisfied because when you pick up the papers, you're reading about these national tournaments. Now, to get to a national tournament, there's steps you got to take. You got to participate in the state level. You got to win your state. You got anywhere from 8 to 10, 12 teams vying to win the state title. After you won your state title, now you have to go play in a regional. And the regional consisted of New Jersey and New York. Now, out of New York, you had Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Long Island, Staten Island, all those teams. So you had, it's about 16 teams. So you got to win that. That's what they call the Mid-Atlantic Regionals. And our team, we were good. We were all black, let me tell you. We won the Mid-Atlantic Regionals, and we did that 4 times. So now we're playing against some of the best top-notch competition from all over the United States. And the way it worked out, we were working people, so we were dedicated to our sport, and we would have to come out of our pocket. But once you got there, they gave you a traveling fee. Now the hotel was paid for, the food they paid for. You just had to get there. But you would get what they call a traveling fee. The further you came, that's how much money you got. So we would get a reimbursement back of some of our money that we put out to travel out there. Now you have anywhere from about, I'm going to say 40 to 45 teams from all over, and they've got a complex, different complexes. You got games all over the place. And what was fascinating to me was opening ceremony, like the Olympics have opening ceremony, and all the teams from all over come marching onto the field with their band. We had Clancy's from Paterson, New Jersey, and the people we had some of our fans that traveled with us, and when they saw us, the people in the stands said, "Look, they're all black. They're all black." They were surprised. This team was all black, and most of the teams, all the European teams, they're white. They have maybe 1 black, maybe 2, but most of them had 1. But when they saw us, they said, "These guys are all black." Like, I mean, what's the big deal? We were the only team there like that. So now, one of the tournaments I remember the most was in Salt Lake City, Utah. We started off pretty good. We won our first 2 games. Now, you know, it's a double elimination. So after we won our first 2 games, now we were playing against this team called Pencourt. They were from Sioux City, Iowa. They were the 2-time defending champs, and they were defending their championship. And when it first started out, there was maybe about 2,000 people in the stands because there's a lot of games going all around, and they figured, oh, this is going to be a blowout. These champs are going to wipe these guys out. So, as it was told, it was a 7-inning game. In the 5th inning, we're winning 1-0. So from 2,000, must have been about 10,000, 12,000 people in the stands, and they're rooting hard for us because it was a huge. It would have been a huge upset. So we were holding our own. Like I said, we're winning 1-0. In the 6th inning, I can remember like it was yesterday, we had a man on 3rd base and nobody out. They brought this guy in. They had 2 pitchers. His name was Sandman and Schulte. 2 big white boys. I mean, they could throw. So even with a man out there and nobody out, this guy struck out 3 batters through 9 pitches. But we still had a 1-0 lead. Wow. Now we're going into the last inning. And the fans was going wild and they saying, this is going to be something. If this team from Paterson, New Jersey, all black, upsets these guys. But it was the 7th inning, it was 1 out. And the next batter had 2 strikes, I remember it. And our catcher, he gave this. He wanted a fastball down. And the pitcher shook him off. He said he shook him off again. So he gave him this, which was he wanted a rise ball. He wanted to throw the rise ball, the pitcher did. So the pitcher threw a rise ball. The guy hits a home run, just clears the fence. Now it's 1-1. We was like 2 outs away from beating them. So now they have what you call international rules. International rules is to speed up the game. They put the last batter out on 2nd base to try to get a winner real quick. So it went like that for the 8th inning, the 9th inning, and then in the 10th inning they beat us 2-1, then scored. But through it all, and then we won another game too. But out of all those teams, we finished 12th in the nation, which is for a black team was a major accomplishment. We was working with a very tiny, small budget, and these guys, they had like thousands of $1,000. We didn't have it like that. But we played the game. We loved the game, and so it's a coincidence. I started out playing baseball, wound up playing fast pitch softball, and last October, they have what they call the Hall of Fame for fast pitch players. We started in the early '80s, and in that Hall of Fame, they all look the same. They would have induction for 3-4 players in each year, 80, 83, whatever it was, but there was nobody of color in that Hall of Fame. Finally, because you have to be retired from the sport for 5 years. In 2017, my name, along with the late Sammy Williams and our manager, Sam McDowell, came up for induction, and we were all first ballot Hall of Famers. We were the first blacks to be inducted into Fast Pitch Softball Hall of Fame down the Towns River, New Jersey.
Wow.
So, it's just that, and I'm gonna tell you something. There was a lot of good black ball players, but it's just that they're for some reason or another, they're overlooked. They can play the game, but I truly enjoy it. I love the game. I gave it my all, and I just want to make one note that when we traveled, Carney Bragg, even though he didn't sponsor anymore, it was Clancy that sponsored us, he would say, well, I can do something. I'll give you money for bands to get you back and forth to the ballpark. Where these guys, they had Lincoln Continentals and all these kind of town cars. So we got our 3 vans for the players and our equipment, and that's what he gave to us, and I just wanted to throw that out there. But we represented Paterson to the highest. We put Paterson on the map, and they after that performance that we gave, there were teams that was coming up saying, man, we want you to come to us, play 4-game set. We had a team from Florida came to us, a team from California, and they had the resources. They was gonna pay us to play a 4-game set because we were a drawing card, because we was all black. They figured they would pack out. They have their own ballpark, so they got that money back in a heartbeat. So, but that last year is when our teams folded, and that was it. We didn't take advantage of it, and the team broke up. But having said all that, I enjoyed the pleasure and privilege to play fast pitch softball and saw so many things that I never thought I would see. I know I'm a little long-winded, but I want to say one more thing. We also played international ball. We played in Hull, Quebec, and in that tournament it was Japan, New Zealand, British Columbia. You had a lot of teams that was international, and we did pretty good there. But playing states and international, that's what we did. But we had the love for the game. But I thank you all very much, and.